Hi guys, welcome to Crissi's Tiny Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making one of my absolute favorite dishes, which is a maple ginger salmon. What I like about this is using the marinade slash sauce that I make with the salmon. You can do this on your barbecue, you can do it on the stovetop, you can do it in your oven. I think I'm going to do it in my oven today just because I'm going to have a few things going. I actually have company coming for dinner, so I'm trying to do some time management here. So I'm just going to start off right away. I've got my salmon here. It had the skin on. I took the skin off. If I wasn't putting like a sticky sauce on it, I would leave the skin on and get it nice and crispy. But because I am going to have like a thicker sticky sauce, the skin would end up just kind of getting mushy in the end. So I take the skin off. I actually set it aside because I do have two cats, and I'm going to cook it up and let them enjoy it later on. I always like to reduce waste, so hey, might as well. So to make the sauce for the salmon, already in my bowl I've grated about a 2-inch nub of ginger, and I am now going to be mincing 3 cloves of garlic. And these are pretty good sized cloves of garlic. And I'm just going to chop those up really fine. So this is a super flavorful meal. I've had people that don't like salmon eat this and love it. It has a nice balance of sweetness from the maple syrup. You've got your garlic, your ginger, a bit of sesame oil goes in there. The version I'm making today, I'm not going to make it spicy at all. Just the crowd that I'm making this for isn't so much lover of spicy food, so I'm going to leave that out. But by all means, if you wanted to make this spicy, some red chili flakes, some sriracha, chop up a little bird's eye chili in there, some gochujang. So if you want to spice this up, super easy. Just add it in on top of everything else that we've got in here now. So I want this pretty finely minced. Again, if you wanted to, you could grate the garlic. I like seeing the little chunks of it. Okay, so I'm gonna add that into the bowl. And I'll have the proper recipes written out for you in the comments section. Okay, so about a 2-inch nub of ginger grated, 3 garlic cloves. I'm gonna add in, I wanna use real maple syrup for this. In a pinch, I have done it with just your generic stuff you buy. It works, but this gives it a much richer flavor. So I'm gonna add half a cup in there. And just eyeballing it today. And I'm also gonna add about a tablespoon of sesame oil. And I've got my soy sauce. So about a tablespoon of that as well. And just a little salt and pepper. Salt and pepper to taste. A little punch in there. Okay, so that is it for our salmon. When I am cooking this in the oven or on the barbecue, I like to use NonStick Foil. And I just want to clarify, there is a difference between your regular foil and non-stick. So I get this heavy duty non-stick foil. I love it because cheese can melt on there, peels right off, it doesn't stick. This is going to get quite sticky and thick. Don't be alarmed if some of the sauce that makes its way off of the salmon just onto the foil almost burns a little bit because of the high sugar content. But again, nothing sticks to this non-stick foil, so I highly recommend it. Again, too, if you're making stuff with breading, things like that, it does not stick. So upgrade your foil from just your regular to a non-stick foil. You will never go back. Okay, So because I'm using a real maple syrup, it's not as thick as, you know, the corn syrup that we that we use usually. So this I'm just going to set aside. I've got my salmon ready. Now with this dinner, I've got a few things going at once because I want to show you the whole complete meal. So with the salmon, I'm going to do some Asian noodles. So I actually have a deep skillet. It's a non-stick skillet that I have that's pretty deep. I actually like using that when I'm doing longer noodles. They fit completely in there, easy to drain. Also, I'm going to be using, sorry, I'm just grabbing some noodles. I'm going to be using the same pan to cook the noodles in afterwards, so it's going to save on dishes. So for this, I'm using spaghettini. You could use a rice noodle. You could use, you know, like a ramen noodle. You can use anything you want, but I like the spaghettini. It holds up nicely, but it's still thin because I don't want a really, really thick noodle with this. But again, depending what you like, you could use an udon noodle. Okay, so this one, that's it. I'm gonna make my sauce for my noodles as well. So I've got another bowl set aside here. Some of the same ingredients. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna do about a half a cup of soy sauce as my base. So we're gonna have the salmon, we're gonna have noodles. I'm going to make a really quick and tasty cucumber salad. And I'm also gonna make some gai-lan. And it's basically a Chinese broccoli. It's delicious. I just clean it up a little bit and do a quick saute in a pan with a little bit of sesame oil, some hoisin, and sliced garlic. That's it. It's delicious. So a whole bunch of components, but I just wanted to do a complete meal. You can do the whole thing together or steal some of these components for another meal that you might like to make. Okay, so back to our noodles, sorry. I've got my half cup of soy sauce. We're gonna add a whole bunch of garlic into this as well. So for my noodles, I've got 1, 2, 3. So here I'm going to do 3 to 4 garlic cloves. I'm actually going to go with 4 for the noodles. Okay. There's going to be quite a bit of garlic in this meal because garlic also goes with the gai-lan and it also goes with the cucumber salad. So lots of garlic today. And again, if you're not a lover of garlic, you can leave it out, you can cut back on it. I mean, it really, really does add to the flavor, so I wouldn't eliminate it completely, but if garlic isn't something you like a lot of, feel free to just, you know, cut back. For those of us that like garlic, you know, the recipe calls for 1 or 2 cloves, we're adding in about 10, right? And in Portuguese, onions, garlic, those are all things that, for me, most good dishes have in them. Okay, so these guys, we're going to give them, again, just a rough chop here. Doesn't have to be quite as finely minced as it was for the salmon. But I don't want giant chunks. Oops, dropped a piece there, we'll grab that. I don't want giant pieces with my noodles. So we're just going to give it a little chop. So we'll say this could be like a medium mince. With these noodles, you can add in all kinds of veggies if you'd like to as well. Or you can just do them as noodles with sauce. I think I want to add in some veg today. Also helps bulk it up. Okay, so there's my garlic. It's going in there. Perfect. Okay. Just gonna wash my hands off here because they are quite garlicky at the moment. Perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna add about a 1-inch chunk of ginger grated. I am cheating. The store didn't have the fresh ginger that I wanted. So I went and just bought the already minced. So I'm going to say about a 1-inch chunk there. Okay. Mix that up together there. And with that one, sorry, I am cheating. I'm looking at my notes because when I made this before I tried to jot it down, I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything for you guys. I'm also going to add in some fish sauce, which I forgot to grab. Don't mind me, sorry. There we go. So fish sauce, you can do this to taste. I put about a teaspoon in. I eyeball most of this stuff, so 1 to 2 teaspoons we'll say. Okay, good. Let's close that guy up. And instead of the maple syrup in these noodles, we're going to do brown sugar. And again, it's going to allow for some really nice caramelization. Grab my spoon here. And about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. That's about my 2 tablespoons there. Perfect. Okay. So we've got soy sauce, we've got garlic, we've got ginger, we've got fish sauce. So I just like to whisk this around until the brown sugar, I got a lump in there. I'll just mash it in. Perfect too. My water is coming to a boil shortly. I never salt my water before the water boils. Once you add the salt, it actually raises the boiling temperature of your water. So it takes longer for your water to boil if you add your salt in right at the beginning. So I always add it in once it is at a boil or just on the verge. Okay, so we're gonna mix this. So garlic, soy sauce, fish sauce, brown sugar, ginger. Pretty easy, pretty basic there. I am also going to cut up an onion. Thin slices of onion for the noodles. Also, while this is all going on, I have preheated my oven to 400. That's going to be for the salmon. Because there's quite a few elements, I want it to sort of all come together at the end. The cucumber salad will be the very last thing that I do. It's very fresh, very delicious. I do have to say, the cucumber salad, I stumbled upon the idea of it on TikTok. A girl made a beautiful version of it, and I just changed it slightly. And it is the type of salad that I could honestly just eat that for a meal. Super fresh, super flavorful. And again, I am going to make this a little bit spicy, the cucumber salad. That's the one thing that I am going to put some spice in. But if, you know, if you can't do spice, cannot do it, just leave it out. Just leave it out, not a big deal. So I'm just very thinly slicing a whole onion. Just going a bit slow with the onion here. One of the things with my fibromyalgia, and I also have a couple herniated discs in my neck, is I get a lot of numbness in my fingers. So some days I gotta really, I gotta really slow it down and watch out with the knife. So today is one of those days, but you know, keep going and adapt. Okay, so that's one whole onion thinly sliced. Let me just get some of these out here. All right. So once the water comes to a full boil, I'm putting in 1 box of angel hair pasta. Sorry guys, I had to go and answer my door. Some of my company has arrived. So now I'm just doing some carrot. So I'm just going to keep it fairly simple because we're going to be having cucumber and gai-lan. I'm just going to add some onion and some carrot for our noodles. And you can do them by hand, but I'm going to show you one of my favorite little tools. And actually when I showed it to a couple of my colleagues at one of the restaurants that I was working at, a bunch of them ended up buying them because it's super handy. You get a set of 3, so you have your regular peeler, you have this guy who does a fine julienne, and then the third one, this guy's perfect for peeling really fine things like you can peel tomato skin, things like that, things that are really delicate. But what I love is you can make gorgeous thin strips using the red one, and you get these gorgeous, really fine julienne strips. So those will be nice because then it kind of keeps the same shape as the noodles themselves. So when you're eating it, it's not awkward that you're going to have all different shapes trying to grab with your fork here. So I've done 3 medium carrots. This is the third one here. And again, I don't feel bad about wasting because whatever's left, you can go down as far as you can with the carrot. And whatever's left, put that into your bag in your freezer to make stock for another day. I'm big on not wasting, so try to use up every bit of the food that you can. So already the scraps from this, I've got the salmon skin, it's gonna go to my cats. Also good for your dogs too. The veggie scraps are gonna go in for stock. So I like meals like that where you can use every little bit of it here. So my water is almost boiling for my noodles. So I'm gonna add a good pinch of salt at this point. Okay. So again, I'm just trying to get everything ready. So I've got my salmon ready to go with its marinade here. I've got my sauce for my noodles made, and I've got all my veg prepped here. So as soon as that water comes to complete boil, we'll get that going. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my cucumbers. What's nice too is with the cucumber salad, I'm gonna show you, you just make it all right in the bowl. You don't have to make the dressing separate, nothing like that. So I'm just gonna leave those to the side for now. I'm gonna take the pasta goffe and I'll slice them up and clean up my gai-lan, and by then we're gonna have everything kind of coming together. So I will be right back with you guys in just a moment. Okay, so we've got our noodles in the pan here, and those will cook fairly quick because they're spaghettini, so it's a nice thin noodle. And I have my salmon on the baking tray. I'm just going to spoon over our maple ginger sauce. Over the salmon. Start with like a couple spoonfuls on each one, and then just distribute it evenly from there. So I've got my oven preheated to 400, as I had mentioned earlier. So I'm gonna pop these guys in. I'll check them after about 15-20 minutes. And with salmon, you're okay if it's just a tad undercooked in the middle. It's perfectly safe. Oh, there's Callum, my wonderful nephew in the background. See, I love, even though he's a toddler, and yes, he has his moments where he's picky, I love that I can make stuff like this and he'll eat it for dinner. He's pretty easy going that way. Alright, so my salmon is now covered in the sauce. And I'm popping that in the oven. I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes and then I'll take a little look at it. Okay, noodles are cooking. Good. A few minutes left on those guys. Okay, so I'm going to move on to prepping the cucumbers for the salad. Looks like the end got a little too cold at the store, so cut a little extra off of that end. I'm also saving some of, I saved a lot of my veggie ends, like the cucumber here that I mean, you don't want to freeze that or cook that into a veggie stock, but there's lots of rabbits in my area. So I'll sometimes put these around like the bushes that I see them in, especially it's so hot. I figure, you know, give them something a little fresh to crunch on. I'm a little bit obsessed with animals. don't know if you know that about me, but I am a huge animal lover, so any little bit to help. And again, I feel like I'm not wasting that way too. That's Callum looking at my fish, Mr. Togarashi. Yes, baby? You see my fish? Yeah. I love that boy so much. Okay, so with the cucumber, I'm not gonna peel the whole thing. Hey, come here, Callum. Come here for 1 second. Come here. I want you to say hi. Come here. Oh. So this is the little guy I always talk about. Callum, can you look there? Say hi. 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 All right. Okay. Tia's putting you back down. Do you want a piece of cucumber? Okay. Here, let me do it. Yeah, this one. Here you go, baby. You want me to eat it?
Yeah.
You're not going to eat it?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, baby. Yeah, TT ate it. Okay, so I'm just going to strip every other bit of peel here. Callum's daddy's trying to tell him to get out of the way for me. This boy loves his Tia though. Okay, so just every other strip cut off like that. And then I'm gonna cut the cucumber in half lengthwise. And then maybe 1/4 inch thick slices. Half inch. Yes, baby. Yeah, Daddy's telling you to go. But my garbage can. Okay, that's staying in. That's not going into bloopers. Because Crissi's tiny kitchen is real life, let me tell you. He was having too much fun playing with my garbage can. He didn't want to leave the kitchen. Oh, that little boy. It's too funny. So that is Callum. So whenever you hear me talk about my nephew, that's him there. Alright, so the other cucumber, again, cutting it in half lengthwise, and then about 1/2 inch chunks. Whoop. Always dropping things. Give my noodles a little stir here. So there's definitely a little bit of multitasking going on with trying to show all the elements of this entire meal. That's why it's nice too if you've got someone that can do the grilling while you do all the other stuff, or instead of doing it in pan, I'm doing it in the oven so that I can sort of leave it to cook while I do all the other bits. There we go. So we've got our bowl full of cucumber. And with this we're going to do a little more garlic. We got Callum back. Is it fun to play with Tia's garbage can? Yeah.
Dada. Dada. Dada.
All right. So for this, I'm gonna do 2 cloves. And we want to mince it pretty finely. Again, because you're going to be having raw garlic in the salad. Yay! Good job, baby. Oh, we have figured out how to step on the pedal and open the can. Smart boy. Yay! Good job, baby. Okay, so we're going to mince up that garlic. Alright. So, like I said.
Yay!
Good job, baby. I'm actually going to do, I want to do a toddler food video, and we're going to get Callum, involved. We'll let him be the star of that video. He can be my guest that day. Crazy guy. Alright. So we're just going to throw in that minced garlic. Now, usually the first step of this salad is actually to salt the cucumber, but because we're not eating probably for another 15-20 minutes, I don't want to put too much salt onto the cucumber so that it becomes too soggy. And I'll get all the other components ready. And basically it's going to be some salt, sesame oil, a little bit of soy, and for the spice, the original recipe I saw called for chili oil, but more than chili oil, I love spicy chili crisp, which has oil in it. But you'll see it is crunchy and crispy. There's bits of chilies, there's garlic, there's some soybeans in there. So, and there's a lot of oil as well. So I actually use that. And rice wine vinegar will also go in there. So I have all my components ready. So that will go together right at the end, just before serving. Okay. So that guy can just go over here for now. And we're going to start to clean up the gai-lan. So like I had mentioned, so this is very quickly, it is basically a Chinese cabbage. No, not Chinese cabbage, sorry, Chinese broccoli is the closest comparison. Let me just check these noodles because I think they're done. Yes, they are. Okay, so I'm going to drain these noodles. And when I drain them, I like to put a little bit of sesame oil on them right away so they don't stick. So if you're not cooking them right away, I always suggest doing a little bit of oil on your noodles. That way, let's get that right off there for now. That way they're not going to stick terribly. So toss a little bit there. I'm going to go ahead right into my pan. Add a little more sesame oil. Turn that back on. I'm going to add in my thinly sliced onion and my carrot. Okay. Just try to break those onions apart a bit. And I'm going to add just a little salt and pepper to those. Good. I'm going to actually give those noodles a little toss. going to throw those into the pan in just a minute. I'm just going to give the carrot and onion just a chance to wilt a little bit. And then I'm going to throw the noodles with that sauce that we made. And I'm just going to clean up my gai-lan. So to clean it up, I just like to take some of like the bigger thick leaves off. Again, I'm going to feed those to the rabbits. You could also put those in your bag of items for stock. So I basically just clean them down a little bit. And if the ends are really thick, like on this one it's a little bit thicker, I'll sometimes just shave it down a little bit so it's more even for cooking. Okay, so I'm going to keep on doing that, and we'll check back in a little bit and things are going to all kind of come together. So I've just taken the salmon out of the oven. I just have it resting. The noodles are done. While they're cooking, because there is the brown sugar in there, I like to let them sit for a couple minutes before I stir them each time, so you get a little bit of caramelization and a little bit of crispiness on the noodles. I'm going to finish them up with some sesame seeds and green onion, but we are now ready to do the gai-lan. And I do a mix of olive oil and sesame. With this one, I don't want the sesame flavor to be too strong. I want to taste more of the hoisin and the garlic. Perfect. So just a little splash like that. And we're going to throw these guys right in there. And I sliced 3 cloves of garlic. Again, adjust it to what you like. Alright. So I don't have any more chopping to do. Give this a quick wipe because my counter is a disaster at the moment. Okay, so because we're going to be eating very, very shortly, I'm going to get that salad going here. So while these guys are in there, the hoisin doesn't go until about the halfway point. Just toss those down. Garlic all in there. Oops. Oh, I lied. I do need to do just a little more chopping for the green onion. Not only does it look nice, but it is a really nice, fresh, flavorful topper for the noodles. Okay. So there's a little mix. And just gonna reach behind you guys, grab my sesame seeds, and this is a mix of black and white. I like to take a little bit, mix them in. Here our gai-lan starting to snap a little bit in the oil, which is good. Okay. Perfect. So I'm just going to grab 2 green onions, should be good. Just for a little topper. And I use the white as well. A lot of people waste a lot of the white of the onion, but I put it in there too. Hi there, little stinker. So I'm just really thinly slicing. I'm putting that in. And Callum is just having a great time, as usual. Okay. scallion, whatever you want to call them. Beautiful topper on our noodles. Oh, yum! I'm actually quite excited for this meal. A little more of the greens here. Okay. There we are. The gai-lan are starting to get a little bit deeper in the green color. These are starting to get like a little bit wilty looking, which is good. Okay, so to the 2 cucumbers that we sliced and we added our garlic, we're now going to add 2 good pinches of salt. And we're actually going to go in with our hands. And we are going to rub all over this cucumber. Okay, so we've got salt, cucumbers, and garlic. I'm kind of eyeballing the dressing, but again, I'll have this all written out properly for you guys, okay? So now I'm going to add a little bit of rice wine vinegar. I buy the seasoned. A little bit of soy sauce, just a tiny bit, and my sesame oil is pretty much empty, so I'll go just right now. And I'm going to add in a spoonful of our spicy chili crisp. And this is going to be our lovely cucumber salad on the side here. Switch it to salad. Whoops! My salad is in here. And that is it. So again, if you don't have the spicy chili crisp, you can just use chili oil. You can just add some sriracha. And there you have it. I'm just going to give it a quick little taste for seasoning. So good. So good. So, at this point, the gai-lan is ready for the hoisin. So I'm just going to squeeze it right on there. I'll say about a tablespoon went on there. Toss that all around. Oh, it smells so good. Just going to let that cook a little bit longer. I don't like my vegetables really, really soft, so I like there to be a little bite still. And then we'll serve it up. So I'm just going to give it another couple minutes, and then I'll show you how to plate up this meal. So here is our finished dinner. We've got our gai-lan with hoisin and garlic. We've got our tasty noodles, our salmon, a little pea shoot greens on top, the cucumber salad I've put on the table, and we're about to enjoy. So I'll put all the individual recipes in the comments for you guys, and give this a try. I think you'll really, really enjoy it. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
I love you, Mom.
That's staying in.
No, it's not.